Matthew, we're about to switch over so you can see us. Tell us what you think about the lag or if it's bad. This is us talking right here. And now I'm switching back to announcements for 1 minute. Got about a minute and a half before we start, Phyllis. The Rams cut Todd Gurley. Yeah. How's it looking? We're just going to have to go with whatever it is regardless. All right, everybody, we're going to start in about 10 seconds. Sweet, he says it's better. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for suffering through some of those technical difficulties with us. We really hope that they're better. This is going to be a work in progress, but thank you so much for being at the very first Extravagantly Reoccurring Power Half Hour. And yes, it smells like Thursday. Guys, I'm here with Tyler Twombly and Lane Daltrey. And I am Tyler Holland, and we are the student staff of Whitesburg Baptist Church. And every single Thursday, we're going to get together for the foreseeable future, and we're going to have a good time. We're going to have all sorts of segments. We're going to have a lot of things we can talk about. And what we really, really want is for you viewers to comment in the comment section and interact with us and give us ideas. Today we have a cool segment called every week we're going to have something called Who Would Win, and then it's going to rotate through different styles, but today is superhero battle because I created the show. So it's going to be Who Would Win superhero style. We're going to have a segment Movies with Lane. He's going to talk a little bit about movies, and we're going to have a segment about a day in the life, what it looks like now that we live in the world of COVID-19, at least temporarily, hopefully. And we are also going to talk about what we are reading. So that's what we're talking about. Lane, if you could go ahead and try to say something. I think they're saying that they can't hear you, so I'm going to mess with that. But while I mess with that, I'm going to switch over to the announcement slide. And Tyler, if you could go through the announcements for me, do that while I mess with Lane's microphone. That's right. It's at 6:30. Hmm. Tuesdays is the extravagantly reoccurring Power Half Hour Tuesday flavor. Wait, time out. It looks like people can't hear anything. Can you hear me? Tell me if you can hear me. In fact, there's like a 30-second delay. So, kids, if you can't hear, or if you can hear me at least, text me real quick. And that way we'll be able to know what's going on a little better. Yeah, Lane, I can hear me on your computer. Sorry about this, guys and girls. We are going to have some growing pains because we've never done YouTube before, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great eventually. We just got to figure out what is going on, and we will get there. So they said they can hear me. So none of y'all can hear Twombly or Lane. I can only hear Tyler is what they're saying. That would make things slightly difficult. What I'm going to do probably, guys, is get you in on a call with me if this isn't going to work, and just see how that goes, because this was working in test mode, but it's not working now. Sources. Let's try this. All right. Thanks for texting me, guys. I am doing the last thing I know to do right now, so y'all let me know if it makes a difference, and if it doesn't, we're just going to go a different route with how we do the audio. No tattoo. All right, well, here's what we're going to do. We are going to stay on the video feed, and I'm going to let, on my phone right here, I know this is jankety, but we're going to have to figure it out. I'm going to try to do a call with Tyler, and then Lane, when it's movie time, I'm going to call you, okay? And y'all let me know if you can hear this at all. This is straight up technology right here. Tell me if y'all hear them in the chat.
Hello? Can you hear me in the chat?
I know it's high quality audio right here, guys and girls.
Yeah, sounds like
Thank you for staying patient with us. We have great stuff planned, but sometimes this is going to fall through. So.
Yep. We're learning. We're learning real fast.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do. We are going to go ahead and start the show with this, and I'm going to be able to hold this up to my microphone on my face. Soon we have professional level microphones coming in. That's going to help the show a whole lot. But for now, we're just going to have to do it the best that we can. So first up, what I want to know from y'all is, what kind of superhero battle do you want to talk about? Do you want to say like Wolverine versus the Hulk? Do you want to say Superman versus Batman? What is it that you think would be a good battle? And you've got to put the setting that it takes place, because that matters a lot. It really does. Also, you have, Rebecca says, I have one Ty yelling and one mumbling. Thank you, Rebecca. Also, we're going to talk about a day in the life, and that's actually what we're going to talk about first. How has your life changed ever since this COVID-19, this coronavirus has started? So right now, I'll kind of go through mine. I still go to work in the mornings. I get to come home a little early to help with the kids. I know that Dacia's and the kids' life have changed a whole lot, because I know several of you in the comments are homeschooled, but now everybody is homeschooled. Now everybody gets to experience what it's like to be homeschooled inside, and we're trying to figure out how to do that with a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. We actually got a bouncy house that goes inside the house, so that's pretty sweet. Never thought that I'd get to do that. It's really cool. Yeah. So that's pretty fun. But you know, it requires adjustment, and I know that several of you are having a hard time because there's things that you had planned. I know that we already had to postpone the mission trip. We had to obviously we don't get to meet at church on Wednesdays and Tuesdays and any days, because we're trying to prevent the spread. So tell us in the chat what's different about your life right now. And while we do that, Tyler, I'm going to put you up to my microphone, and hopefully this works. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? All right. So biggest thing that changed is I don't want to. I don't want to greet you. That's it. I don't want to shake hands. At best, bump elbows. think that's a weird thing I'd never considered before. Is just that like we're careful about public interaction with people. I got a family, so just being careful of me going to work and being the one who comes back and brings germs is weird to think about. Other than that, not much has changed. I still sit at home. I still play video games. Yeah, that's kind of my life right now. I think most of it is just monitoring. How do I stay clean? How do I be wise so as not to make everyone sick?
Nice. Yeah. Well, Lane, we'll let you go whenever it's time for the movie segment, but right now we've got a bunch of really interesting matchups. Thanks for everybody that's in the chat right now communicating with us. I see you, Ethan Perkins. What up? Going up 2 levels. That's nice. That's important. Tyler, you have a friend out there that says you don't hang out with them regardless of a pandemic, it looks like. We have, well, excuses. We've got, hey, breaking news, by the way. Who did I just say left the running back?
Hold on, wait. Let me put my ESPN background on.
The Rams. Gurley just left the Rams. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Or he got cut.
Todd Gurley has been cut by the Rams because they don't have enough money to pay everyone.
Man.
That's it. That's the whole story.
That's COVID right there in a nutshell.
Yeah. I'm in a fantasy football league that goes year-round, and I am half considering trading for him because no one is going to be able to sell him. He's going to be a buy low candidate. That's what they say in the industry.
Interesting. All right, well, let's see here. We've got Rebecca Brock in here. We've got the Frederickson clan. We've got Sam Handley. We've got Sarah Davis. Matchups. I see Wonder Woman versus Thor. That's not the one we're going to pick because here's the whole fight. Thor won. Okay, we got the Flash versus Ant-Man. Squirrel Girl versus the Avengers. Squirrel Girl versus the Avengers? Are you trying to offend my very nature? That is, Sam, I'm going to let you go ahead and write in how Squirrel Girl would even stand up in the presence of the Avengers for more than a second. We have, somebody said, Sarah Davis said, the Power Half Hour looks like the Reverse Flash. I'll take that as a compliment, Sarah. Thank you. Let's see. We have, I saw one a second ago that was going to be the one. Okay. Flash versus Ant-Man. So Flash versus Ant-Man, what we need right now. Oh, man. Lane, you put a good one, too. Martian Manhunter versus Dark Phoenix. But Flash versus Ant-Man, I want you to put where you want the location to be. So everybody in the comments can do this. Go ahead and put, it can be the desert. It can be space. It can be the tundra. It could be Walmart. It could be your house. I don't care what it is, but that matters for the result of the fight. While you put what it's going to be, so it's the Flash versus Ant-Man, you got to come up with the location, but I'm going to right now hang up on Tyler and I'm going to call Lane, and Lane, through our high technology of speakerphone, is going to talk to us about the movie segment. So welcome to the movie segment. We're doing it right now. Lane, the floor is yours.
What's up? How's it going, guys? We got lots of stuff in movie news. Because of all of the disease stuff going on, we have a lot of delays in production. We have a lot of delays in movies coming out in theaters. I also heard the other day that movie theaters are going to 50% capacity in theaters, which is a big deal. So don't sit next to anybody and only half the amount of people. So the movies that we have that are delayed, some big names. We got James Bond got pushed back till November. A Quiet Place Part 2 got delayed. I was really looking forward to that one. Peter Rabbit 2 got delayed. Fast and Furious 9 is now coming out on April 2nd, 2021. Mulan got delayed. My roommate's sad about that. He was really looking forward to it. X-Men New Mutants. Who knows if that'll ever come out? It's been rumored for like 4 years. There's some other things. Some projects have gotten delayed in filming. I know a lot of the the Disney Plus Disney stuff has been delayed, like the Loki series and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then one that I'm looking forward to, the Dune movie, is getting delayed. Yeah. So yeah. So Tyler, what do you think about this news?
Everything's getting delayed. I think they kind of have to delay it though, right? Because it seems like the worst idea in the world would be to go, hey, let's all join together as close as we can, maybe share some popcorn, laugh, cry, all around each other, and all get the sickness together. So, like, that's the number one place where it seems like you would get sick. I do love going to the movies. I know I'm not quite as crazy about it as you are, Lane, but I love movies. And I do want to see several of those that you talked about. But I did see that, like, Trolls is coming to straight to video, or not video, but streaming. And I saw several movies were doing that. So somebody just said Mulan is getting delayed. That's for the best. I don't know about that. I want to see some Mulan. I loved that old movie. But yeah. So Lane, anything about your day-to-day life that you want to mention to the guys and girls out there?
Sure. So one thing that my roommates and I have been talking about a lot lately is having expectation management, which is like our plans for our day may be one thing, but God's plans might be something completely different, and we have to keep being patient and kind to one another and be able to change plans and be flexible on a dime, whether that's having to jumpstart your roommate's car or having to go to Walmart to get more canned food or stuff like that. So just being okay with changed plans, even with stuff you've been looking forward to. That's the big thing for me, and just being prepared in whatever way you can, whether that's cleaning your house or stocking up on food and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, thanks a ton, Lane. Every week, Lane's going to join us in with some different movie comments and some life tips. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Lane Daltrey. Lane, since the audio is not working, I'm going to go ahead and let you go from the meeting, all right?
All right, sounds good.
Moderate that chat for us. Bye. All right, so that is the movie segment. Now what I want to do is look and see what you told us. I see underwater. A lot of people saying underwater for the Flash fight. We've also got China. Seems dangerous in this current situation. We've got my lovely wife, Daisha, saying Batman versus the Hulk in a bowl of ramen noodles. That's interesting. We have got a lot of underwaters, so it might be that we're going to go with underwater. So just so you know, we're going to go with underwater for the Flash fight in just a minute. Before we do the Flash Ant-Man fight, though, we are going to make a couple of announcements. So take a look at this slide right here. By the way, these slides are so professionally done by Bailey, our awesome assistant. So thanks, Bailey. We've got all sorts of things coming up throughout the week. We've got Monday night Bible study at 3 p.m. I guess Monday afternoon Bible study at 3 p.m. for the guys. We've got Monday night Bible study for the girls, and those are both on Zoom. If you want to be a part of those, we sent out a link in emails today for just the equipment that or the link that you have to go to for Zoom. But what you need to do is check out our Instagram and our Facebook, and we'll post specific links Sunday or Monday to where you actually go to join the meeting. Lane, if you can mute your computer, that would be great. Or Tyler, if you can mute your computer, that would be great too, because we're having some technical difficulties because of that. Also, we've got Tuesday at 3, the same thing as right now, just on Tuesdays, the extravagantly reoccurring power half hour Tuesday flavor. That's going to be a lot of the same kind of stuff, but there'll be different segments. So while today's segments are going to be who would win, the movie minute, and we also are going to have, every time we talk, what are we reading right now? And a day in the life is going to be on Thursdays. Tuesdays is going to have some different segments. So if you have any ideas for segments that you would like us to go over, I mean, any ideas, stuff that you're interested in talking to us about in the chat, stuff that you want to hear us talk about, let us know. And we will see if those will be a good fit for our Tuesday half hours. So obviously Thursday half hours right now. All of the YouTube stuff is at 3, and that includes Wednesdays. If you take a look over on the right, it's Bible Talk with Tyler and Tyler. Tyler and I are going to get together, and then instead of a talk like we would have on Wednesday nights where one of us gets up and preach, we're going to have a discussion. We're going to have a discussion about either a book of the Bible, about a topic that we want to go over, and we're really going to take a deep dive and try to have kind of a really informative lesson through conversation. And we want you to join us in the chat as well. Now, the Monday night and Monday afternoon Bible studies are going to be similar to that, but they're going to be on Zoom, so everybody's face is going to be on the screen. It's going to be very back and forth discussion heavy, while the other stuff is a stream with our faces kind of leading everything, but listening to you and talking to you in the chat. So those are the announcements. Thanks again to Bailey for fixing those slides for us. And now I guess it is time to go to the battle. Now, first, can I get the guys to tell me one more time, Tyler and Lane, try to talk. So they just both said hello and hey. I could hear them in my ears. I want to hear in the comments if you could hear them. We'll find out in about 20 seconds because there is a delay. While we do that, imagine a world with the Flash. We'll say it's Barry Allen. There have been different Flashes, but I like Barry. So say there's a world with the Flash, Barry Allen, and Ant-Man. Now, what Ant-Man do we want to go with? Let's just go not even with Scott Lang, but let's go with we're going to go with Paul Rudd. That's right. We're going to go with Paul Rudd. If y'all hear me laughing, Lane and Tyler are making comments that apparently you can't hear, but I can. So you'll see the interaction that I have with them through my face. Isn't that fun? So Lane saying, look at us, Paul Rudd. And Tyler says that 7 times a day. So it's great. Look at his slide. That is ridiculous. So we've got Ant-Man versus the Flash. Now, Ant-Man's powers, if you don't know, is he can get really, really big and he can get really, really small. And when I say really, really small, I mean like quantum level small, as we saw in some of the previous movies. Tyler says so small that he can travel through time. We also have the Flash. Now, the Flash can tap into the Speed Force itself. The Flash has powers that, depending on who is riding him, vary, but we're just going to say he's so fast that he can run around the world, and it's like that, okay? He's super, super, super fast. So he has all those kind of moves where he does the lightning punch, where he runs fast enough to generate static electricity and punch somebody. But Ant-Man can get big enough to where he could absorb a punch like that. So what's that going to look like? Donovan says, Tyler Twombly, lean over and whisper something to Paul Rudd. That's not really what he said, but that's what I'm going to say on the screen. So he said, hey, Paul. Y'all can't hear him. So I'm picturing all of this stuff on land because that's what's easy to picture it on, right? But no. For some reason, Ant-Man and the Flash, though they are from different universes, their universes collide. The Marvel 616 universe and the DC universe came together, and it became a water world. Maybe many of you may be familiar with Kevin Costner's Waterworld. It was that world, and they are underwater with breathing apparatus on, and they're in a fight that can only end one way. One of them's going to be standing, and one of them's not. And the Flash underwater is not nearly as fast as the Flash would be on land, obviously. And Ant-Man automatically has an advantage there because he can grow big enough to where he can breathe, but he can't see if he gets above the water. So the Flash is still running all over the place. Ant-Man's slow, but all of a sudden Ant-Man looks around and he falls in the water and creates this giant tidal wave. And while he does that, the Flash gets his lightning punch, comes all the way up, smacks him in the face, and they both get out of the water because of that momentum and start having this Dragon Ball Z-like fight in the air where it's just bolts of light and you can't tell what's going on. Ant-Man has shrunk because it was too long in his big form, so really he's getting killed in the air, just getting destroyed, and all of a sudden he grabs a hold and somehow lets his technology get the Flash caught up with him, and the quantum entanglement of the Flash's speed and Ant-Man's technology transports them to a different dimension that's not underwater anymore, but neither one of them know what's going on. And you know what? because I don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of, we're going to have to finish the end of that fight next week, because I don't want to just tell you. I want to hear what Lane and Tyler have to say about that too. Tell me in the comments what you think is going to happen. Sarah says the ultimate kamikaze. Yeah, it could be a Kamehameha wave. It could be anything. It could be a Rasengan. I don't know what would happen in that fight, but it would be awesome. So finally, I know that's silly. We're going to do silly stuff every week. Next week, just so you know, we're going to do Who Would Win Sports Edition. So you're going to match up people like Michael Jordan and LeBron James. You're going to match up people like, who are you saying, Tyler? Serena Williams and Michael Jordan. One's holding a taco and the other's holding a grilled cheese. Who would win? This is why we need their audio in here. We're going to do all sorts of stuff like that. But anyway, next week is the sports edition of that. It's going to be fun. But what I want to do right now is talk to you about what have we been reading. So in the comments, I want you to let me know, what have you been reading? If you saw my video last night, you saw that I said it's important to slow down. It's important in this time where we don't understand what's going on, where it looks perfectly normal when you look out the window. I'm looking out in my backyard right now. Everything looks just like it always has. But there's this virus going around, right? And it's a dangerous virus. And we're not given a spirit of fear, but we're given a spirit of faith. But we also have to be wise, and that's why we're doing all this stay inside stuff. So while we're staying inside, we have some choices. We could either get on the internet and do stupid stuff. We could just watch videos all day. We could binge Netflix. We could play video games. We could do all the things that young Tyler might have done when he was dumber. But you decide which Tyler I'm talking about there. But what God calls us to do is say, hey, slow down and listen to me right now. Meditate on my word day and night. Think about what I have to say. So what I'm asking you right now is, what are you reading in the word? What are you thinking about as far as your relationship with Jesus? Are you pursuing him? Do you have that relationship in the first place? So what I wanted to do today is just fill you in on what I've been reading. Not necessarily something that's like a prepared lesson, but just last night I read the book of Philippians. And it's so cool reading this book of Philippians with the context that we live in right now. Because, you go through life. I was born in 1985. And from 1985 until, 2020, what is it? Everything's been basically the same as far as being able to go in public, not having to worry about crazy things. I know there's been sicknesses and stuff before, but this is the first worldwide pandemic that has affected society across the earth in this way since I've been around. So I'm reading Philippians, and that's the context that I'm coming in, because you're reading the Bible in that exact same context right now too. So I get to the part that we've read so many times, and so much of this is so awesome, and I really encourage you to read Philippians. But I'm going to start right here in chapter 4, and first I want to remind you to rejoice in the Lord. In verse 4, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. So always rejoice, even in the middle of this kind of stuff. And then I want to skip over to verse 10 and just listen to this. It's so cool given our context right now. I rejoiced in the Lord greatly, and now at length you have received your concern for me. You were indeed concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. And in any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Look, I grew up playing sports, not well, but I grew up playing them, and that kind of was always the context I thought of that verse in, which is super out of context, right? Because Paul's writing that out of a context of struggle, out of a context of having been in prison and not being able to see the people that he wants to see, and he's still saying rejoice, and he's still saying I can do anything, no matter if I've been brought high or low. Jesus abounds. Like, I can do all things through him, and that's my encouragement to you today. We live in a world that doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now. We hope and we pray that this thing goes away and that there's a cure found and that people don't get too sick and all of that stuff. But we trust in Jesus because he is in control of absolutely all of it. But we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And what we have to remember our job is, what we can control, is being a light in a dark world. Right now, this world is still dark and it is still lost, And now it's even more confused than it was before. And we get this chance to stick out. We get this chance to say, you know what? It is kind of scary, but we have faith in a God who has complete control over all of it. And we want to tell you about that God. And we can do that through things like technology, because we're not going to be in public with a lot of people. We have these chat rooms. We have YouTube. We have phone calls, we have text messages, we have video game headsets, we have all that kind of stuff. We get to be a light in a dark and confused and scared world, and we get to show them that we have a peace and that we have a hope that is unshakable. That even in the middle of all this craziness that we have no control over, we know our eternal salvation is in Jesus Christ. We know what he's done for us. We know that we are citizens of heaven, and we have the opportunity to tell other people about that too. Problem, solution, response, right? We have a problem. God has a solution, and we have to make a response. So what's your response going to be? First of all, have you responded to the gospel? Have you repented of your sins and confessed with your mouth that he is Lord, and you believe in your heart that he is raised from the dead and been saved? If you have, that is awesome. If you have not, please talk to somebody about that. Talk to one of us about that. But if you have, you still have a response to make every day. In the middle of this, are you going to give in to fear and anxiety? Are you going to give in to just seeking entertainment, just taking time off for nothing? Are you going to say, I'm going to do whatever I can to be the best possible Christian and follower of the way of Jesus Christ that I can be? I'm going to do whatever I can to love my neighbor as myself and to put God above all things? What are you going to do? Are you going to slow down and spend time with them now that we might have time to do that, or not? We all get that opportunity. I hope that in the middle of things like this, we get the chance to encourage one another in how to do that. Please leave comments, whether it's in the live chat or after the chat is streamed. You can leave comments down the archived video. Let's talk about, what does it mean to show Jesus' love right now in this world that we're living in, this crazy new world that we're living in, where so many people are scared. Are you struggling with fear? Are you struggling with trusting in Jesus? If so, that's okay. Talk to somebody about it. Let's talk about what the word promises. Let's talk about what it means to have a faith that's unshakable. And let's pray for each other, okay? We are the church. Just because we're not meeting inside of a church doesn't mean that we're not still the church of God. We are his people. If you have a relationship with him, we get to be his hands and feet. So let's do that to the best of our ability. Let's love each other. And hopefully we get to do different things like this all throughout the week and talk to each other, encourage each other to go and do that. So I encourage all of you to reach out maybe to family members that you hadn't talked to in a while that might not be close. Reach out to people who are at high risk from this COVID-19 and tell them that you're praying for them and that you love them, whether that's older people in your family. Maybe you have some grandparents or great-grandparents. Maybe you have some people that are sick. Just let them know that you love them. Now, do it in a wise way. I'm not saying go to their house if they're high risk, but call them, video chat with them, and let them know that you have hope, that Jesus has a plan, and that you love them. Thank you so much for joining us. We're doing this, trying to figure it all out together. Obviously, we had a lot of technical difficulties today. We apologize for that. We're putting a lot of thought and time into this. We're doing whatever we can to make it better. We're going to spend time after this trying to figure out the microphone stuff. But we're going to get it situated. It's going to be good. But let's just join together and do whatever we can to point people towards Jesus. And hopefully, we can provide some laughter and fun in the middle of all of this stuff, too, with some of these streams. I want to see you back on Monday, 3 o'clock at Zoom for the guys, 6:30 for the girls. And don't forget, Tuesday and Thursday, 3 o'clock right here on this YouTube channel. Wednesday at 3 o'clock for Bible Talk with Tyler and Tyler. Comments, leave your comments on the videos. Even if you're not in the live stream, if you're watching this later, leave your comments. Please hit subscribe and make sure that you hit the notification tab so you can see when we're about to go live. There are going to be times that we don't have scheduled, things that aren't normal segments that we pop in. We're like, hey, we want to do something. We want to have an interactive deal right now. There's just going to be surprise streams. So whether that's just one or two of you can join or everybody can, you're all welcome to. So hit notifications and it'll tell you when that's going to happen. But thanks so much for being here. Y'all are awesome. We're praying for you. We love you. Go be a light in the darkness. All right. For Tyler and Lane, I'm Tyler. Stay classy, and Jesus loves you.